Most of us eat 3 meals and at least 2 snacks a day. We've been taught to look at all that food purely as energy, calories in, calories out. But that view misses what happens the moment we swallow. Food acts as a signaling molecule. Every bite you take sends chemical instructions directly to your physiology, dictating how your hormones and cells behave. For millions of years of human evolution, our ancestors lived in a state of fasting, hunting, and foraging. Our genetics were forged during long periods of scarcity, receiving chemical instructions from food only occasionally. Then the Industrial Revolution hit. Almost overnight, we abandoned those natural cycles. We replaced sparse, intermittent meals with constant access to engineered products designed to trigger our innate reward centers. When a body designed for scarcity is flooded with endless chemical instructions to store and consume, the system breaks. The current epidemic of chronic disease is a direct consequence of this mismatch between our ancient genes and our modern environment. The immediate physiological result of eating from the moment we wake until we go to sleep is that our insulin levels remain elevated throughout the day. Chronically high insulin prevents the breakdown of stored energy, forcing the body to pack visceral fat around vital organs like the liver and pancreas. Unlike subcutaneous fat, this visceral fat is toxic, actively secreting inflammatory molecules that damage organs and drive metabolic disease. Reversing this damage and mobilizing trapped visceral fat requires a period of scarcity. You must lower insulin levels significantly to allow the body to finally access those energy stores. The clock starts the moment you finish your last meal. For the first 12 hours, the body burns through its immediate energy reserves, the stored glycogen in your liver and muscles. During this first half day, you will likely feel shakes, fatigue, and intense cravings. This is a withdrawal response as your brain reacts to the lack of caloric reward. You will also experience waves of hunger driven by the hormone ghrelin. These levels work in spikes. If you wait an hour, the hunger naturally recedes. Between the 12 and 24-hour mark, insulin plummets to baseline, signaling the body to change fuel sources. With insulin at its lowest, energy stores finally open. Toxic visceral fat cells release free fatty acid particles to be used for fuel. Those freed fatty acids flow to the liver, where they are converted into ketones. These molecules provide the brain and body with a more efficient energy source than glucose. Crossing this 24-hour threshold marks the definitive shift from a sugar-storing system into an actively healing, fat-burning engine. Deeper repairs occur as you push the timeline further. Entering the 36 to 72-hour window triggers an evolutionary repair state known as autophagy. Autophagy is a cellular deep clean. When external calories are absent, cells begin recycling internal waste, dissolving broken protein strands and debris for fuel. This process clears out senescent cells, old zombie-like cells that linger in your tissues and secrete inflammatory chemicals that cause neighboring cells to dysfunction. Inside the cells, mitophagy takes place. Lazy, inefficient mitochondria are targeted and replaced with fresh, efficient new ones, improving the cell's overall energy production. While autophagy begins earlier, it reaches its peak at the 3-day mark. Pushing the timeline to 72 hours maximizes these deep cellular benefits. At 72 hours, the body is in a state of peak repair. This level of hormetic stress forces the human body to adapt, increasing its resilience to disease and cellular aging. The healing process reaches its climax the moment you start eating again. Breaking the fast sends a signaling wave through your newly cleansed biology. This refeed signal spikes growth hormone by 2,000%. Simultaneously, bone marrow releases progenitor stem cells into the bloodstream. These mobilized stem cells act as a repair crew, navigating your body to repair damage, particularly along the vascular endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. The repair mechanisms set up by fasting are actualized in the days right after it ends, as your body rebuilds itself with fresh cellular material. Breaking a long fast requires care. Days without food change the gut microbiome completely, leaving the system in need of deliberate repopulation. The protocol starts with bone broth to replenish critical phosphates, followed by high-fiber cruciferous vegetables and fermented foods for good bacteria. When good bacteria eat fiber, they produce butyric acid. This compound heals the delicate gut lining and acts as a master anti-inflammatory agent throughout the body.
By integrating time-restricted feeding and occasional prolonged fasts, we align our lifestyle with our evolutionary design. This approach reverses metabolic disease and places the power of recovery back in your own hands.